Yeah. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about the data types, variables, and operators. So, what is the use of a data types and what is the use of a variables and the operator itself? So, initially, while we are going for a Java application or a Java source code, so these data types are essential. So, what is a data type? So data type specifies the size and the type of values that can be stored in an identifier. Here, the size and the type of a values means the values represents the variables. So these variables are identifiers which we can identify to particular data type. So these data types are divided into two groups according to the Java itself. So in Java, it is a rich of a data type. So many data types are available and it is divided into two groups. One is a primitive data type and another one is non-primitive data types. So let me tell you about these data types because here the data types, the design, they divided it into the two groups. Why they needed two groups? Because these primitive data types are built in, already defined by the Java itself, and we can't change it at all. In the sense of a non-primitive data types, these are built by the user. So user can handle when they created an object. So at the time of a program itself, you can understand very easily. So inside the primitive data types, there are a byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, and char. These are the only primitive data types available in Java. So according to the numbers itself, let me go for next slide. So according to the numbers, what we discussed about the data type, the size and the type of a values which is assigned to the identifier. So based on the variables, what is the type of the variable? It tells about the size and the type of a variable itself. So the type of a variable and what is its size and how it is descripted. So the description in the sense the range from where to where. So it is not required to remember each and every description about the data type. So data type is initially for numbers itself, it is having byte, short, int, and long, and float and double. These represents the number data types. So for true and false, it is a Boolean. So Boolean represents true and false. Only these two we can represent. And a char represents the characters. So characters in the sense the alphabets, which we declare it in a single code. So uh, we are having arrays. In that session. We'll discuss about the characters and how we are going to retrieve the information from the arrays after the declaration of an array. So in primitive data types, we assign a particular size to the variable based on user defined data type. Okay. Now, byte. So what is a byte? So byte consisting of a single byte, short consisting of two bytes. So inside a memory, it occupies a 1 byte itself. If it is a short, it is a 2 bytes. In the sense of an integer, it goes for 4 bytes. So all these memory location will be stored, assigned at the time of a declaration of a variable. How we are going to declare a variable? Let me open a NetBeans. Let me open a NetBeans. 1 second. Okay, now I'm going to share a NetBeans to you, how to declare a variable, and I'm going to tell you about that. So as we discussed, as we discussed to create the structure of a class itself, Java program. So now I'm going to create demo. This is the class name, and this is the package where I'm going to save this class, and always the class name starts with a capital letter. So this is a Java class, and it is storing in demo1 package. Package in the sense it's a folder. So inside a folder, we are having a class. Finish. So the class has been created. As we discussed in the previous chapters, like how to create a comment, it is a default comment already created. This is a descriptive comment. So how many comments are there? Single line comment, multi-line comment, and the descriptive comment. So inside a descriptive comment, you can write about the other and the description of a Java language. Okay. Now I'm going to create the main method, public static void main. So I need a command line argument values. So these are the values I'm going to pass at the time of run. At the runtime, I'm going to pass the argument so that the program will be checked. So at the time of a testing purpose, it will be useful for you. Okay. So we'll discuss it later. And now itself, I'm going to take a single line comment, declaration of a variable. So how to declare a variable? According to the data types, what we are having for number system. What we are having for the number system? We are having initially a byte. So byte A is equals to 1. So it occupies 1 byte itself inside a memory. So this is the data type, and the type of a variable is A. So here, what is the type of a variable? Byte. So it occupies a single byte inside a memory. This we call the declaration of a variable. So at the time of, in the class of the discussion of variables, I will give you in detail explanation about that. So for the integer, for the short, B is equal to 20, 12 or something else, 2 bytes, whatever it is. I need to tell you about that. For byte itself, they should be, they assign a particular size from, not in the size, actually, it's a range. It is having a particular range, like -2 plus. Like these are the values we are going to assign. So in this range only, we can assign to the byte. Similarly to the short, and next for the integer, and next for the long. All these data types having a particular range from -x to +x. So this is the range will be assigned when we declare a variable, and the type should be like the data type. Okay. Next one, int c is equal to, and int, and d is equals to, int is not, it's a long, right? It's a long k is equals to, long d is equals to, it should be a big number, like, okay, it should be a big number. So these are the declaration of variable in the sense of an integer. These are all the primitive data types. This is the declaration of a variable. And now I'm going to take a single line comment, primitive data type. So this is a primitive data types. So in the sense of numbers, So numbers, I will going to make a number over here. And now itself, I'm going to take a floating. What is the difference between the floating points and an integers? Here, the main difference is it consisting of a decimal numbers. So these decimal numbers can't be accessed by these four data types. So floating point having decimal numbers. We all these represents the numbers itself. So inside, I mean, for the numbers itself, we are having all these 6 primitive data types. One is a float, sorry, already A has been declared. Float B, next E is equals to 25 point or something else. Sorry, one second. Why it is showing an error? Okay, it is asking for the double. Why it can't ask like that? Okay, let me check. I'll take it as a double initially. Okay, this is the data type. We'll check that floating point error. I don't know why it is getting that. Okay, so these 6 data types consisting of number representation. Sorry, it is a number representation. For the character itself, we are having some other type. Okay, for the characters, data, character data type. Character data type. Wait a second, I will get you back. Yeah, okay. Now, till where? Okay, the character. So for this, we are having CHAR and some DE. Okay, E has been declared, and now I'm going to take F is equals to, in a single comment, we are having T like this. So in this way, we are going to declare the variable for the data type char, and the final one is a Boolean. So what the Boolean represents, true or false. So Boolean having a data type. So yeah, I forgot to tell you about the variation, the difference between the primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Each and every primitive data type starts with a small letter, and each and every non-primitive data type starts with a capital letter. So they are user defined. After creating an object, then only we can access the primitive data type. But in the sense of non-primitive data type, which is predefined and you can access it directly like this. There is no need to create any object for this. Okay, Boolean S is equals to true. So there is no need to mention a comment over here, because only true or false the Boolean data type can assign, so that for the variable we can directly write a true or a false. So, and one thing I want to tell you, so in non-primitive data types we are having a null value like this, but in the sense of primitive data types there is a value, we have to assign a value finally. So it won't go for a null value. If it is a null value and it throws an error, so primitive data types won't allow null values. Okay, I think you understood all these things. Now I'm going to share the PPT. Okay. Okay, now it's sharing. Let me maximize it. Yeah, numbers. As we discussed, primitive number types are divided into 2 types. One is integer types and next one is a floating point types. So what is the integer type over here? Stores whole numbers. Whole numbers in the sense positive or negatives. So it consisting of a positive or negatives, but it should not include a decimals. So it should be whole numbers, and we should not include a decimal numbers. So only decimal numbers are represented by the floating point numbers only. So what it consisting of, positive or negative numbers, whatever the number it is, it should be in a floating number. I mean, sorry, in a whole number. So, but you should remember that the integer type doesn't allow a decimals. So valid types are, what are the valid types? As we discussed, byte, short, int, and long. So all these are having a particular range from -x to +x. So within this number only, each and every data type should be declared based on the usage. So where we are going to use that, depending on that numerical value, we are going to take these data types. One is a byte, short, int, and a long. So for the byte itself, how much memory it will occupy? 1 byte. For the short, it occupies 2 bytes. For the integer itself, 4. And finally, for the long itself, 8 bytes it will occupy in the memory. So based on the usage of a numerical value, we are going to take the particular data type. Okay, next one is a floating point. So what is the main use of a floating point is, if the numeric value consisting of a decimal numbers, we have to use a floating point, and this also having a particular range from -x to, okay, if you need decimals like some minus x point something else, x is to minus x point, sorry, plus x point x. So there should be a range based on the usage of a decimal value. Here we are going to consider a double and a float data types. I think you understood that. Next one is a character. As I declared, the character consisting of a single code. So inside a single quote, we need to represent a character, whether it is a capital or a small letter. So the char data type is used to store a single character only. As we discussed, the character data types consisting of only a single character. It won't allow 2, 3, 4, or 5, and 6. So if you want to use in that way, you have to use a non-primitive data type. You want to use a word or a sentence, you have to use a non-primitive data type. So in this non-primitive data types, we have to create an object, then only we can access directly. So after the create, because they are user defined. So these are predefined values. These data types, the primitive data types are predefined. So we can use it directly. But in the sense of a non-primitive data types, after the creation of an object inside a class itself, we can access those objects. Okay, so these characters having a single character, whether it is a capital letter or a small letter, and it should be surrounded by a single code. Okay, next. Now the details of non-primitive data types. So non-primitive data types or reference type, same thing. Okay, reference type, we are going to create a reference like an object. So with this reference itself, we are going to access that. So all these objects refers to this reference. Based on the object, we are going to refer non-primitive data types. The main difference of a primitive and non-primitive data types are, so these are all the differences. So same thing, primitive data types are predefined, already defined. Predefined in the sense, at the time of building a Java language, they already built all these data types. Non-primitive data types are created by the programmer. So, okay, sir, who is that guy? I think that guy is also a programmer. No, not in the sense. So these are all built by the outsiders. These primitive data types are built at the time of development of a Java. But you have to remember one thing, and is not defined by, sorry, and is not defined by Java. Not defined by Java. Non-primitive data types are not defined by Java except for a string. So this string has been defined by the Java, and the remaining non-primitive data types are not defined by Java. But these primitive data types are defined by Java at the time of a development. String also belongs to the Java program. Except this only other primitive data type doesn't belongs to a Java. Okay. Non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform certain operations. Yeah. At the time of a creation of a methods, we are going to use non-primitive data types. So inside, at the time of declaration of a main method, the arguments we consist of string capital S. So what we say, discussed about that. So each and every primitive data type starts with a small letter, but each and every non-primitive data type starts with a capital letter. So here the capital letter we are having as an argument over there, non-primitive data type inside for the usage of a command line argument string. So there we are having a capital letter over there, which is a non-primitive data type. So non-primitive data types can call a methods to perform certain operations. Primitives can't. We can't access anything. After the creation of the object only, we can reference each and every thing inside that. But if we can't create an object, how can we call? So in the sense of primitive data types, we can't create an object. So we can't create an object, then we can't have any access over there. We can't any reference over. I mean, we don't have any reference over there. So it doesn't have any packages or something else. Only non-primitive data types having, and it allows creation of an object, and we can refer that object for the certain task. And next one, a primitive type has always a value, while non-primitive types can be null. Yeah, the same thing at the time of programming I said about that. The primitive data types always have yeah, we have to assign a value for the non-primitive data type. So for primitive data type, the non-primitive data type we can assign null itself. So if we doesn't declare anything for the primitive data types, they should be a null. There is no use of that without a value. Always assign a value. So we have a value for that, but non-primitive data types may be null in some conditions if required. We are going to consider it as a null value. So next one, a primitive type starts with the lowercase, okay, while non-primitive type starts with an uppercase. Okay. Next one, the size of a primitive type depends on the data type. Yeah, as we discussed, the usage of the value, the numerical value, the character value, the decimal value, based on that, we are going to consider the type of a data. So the value, the type of a variable size should be the usage of you. While you are using that, if it required, then only use that. Then why the wastage of a memory? So while in the non-primitive types, all are of same size. So we are going to create an object and we will refer the object for the references for the creation of some other tasks and all. Okay. This is about primitive and non-primitive data types. And finally, I'm going to conclude that what is the use of a data type? You can tell the type of a variable or a method to which type does it belongs to. Okay. And data types having a particular size based on the usage, you are going to use that. Data types are two types. One is a primitive and non-primitive. So primitive data types are defined by the Java itself, but non-primitive data types are not, except a string. Okay. I think I just covered everything. Yeah. Thank you. End of the session. Okay, just go through this and try each and every data type. So there are numeric data types and decimal data types. And what is the usage of that? Just go through the description. I think these are the basics you have to remember at the time of a programming and all. Okay. And yeah, thank you. Thank you. Leave the class.